Hey, One Piece.
What other One Piece in the weekend?
Fuck yeah. We're filming this on the weekend, but this is going to be going up probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. I don't know. Either way, have you ever wondered what our favorite One Piece moments are? 102 subscribers of ours. We're going to count down our top 10. I made Thurman get up and really analyze his moments. Like a mom, he told me I was like a mom. I was like, no, Thurman, write a list. Write it down, like homework.
Sad but true.
So, would you like to start with your number 10, Thurman?
Number 10, right off the bat, has to be Afro Luffy.
Yo. I can't even. Where's the lie, though, as you would say?
Afro Luffy is just, man, that shit. Oh, when I first saw that, I saw that in the anime.
Me too.
People say that the David Beck fight arc was the worst arc.
That's some bullshit. And when people say that, I want to punch them.
Like, I'm like, that's up to you. But no one can hate Afro Luffy. No one.
Calling out Tekking 101 right now. I love your videos, but he hates Davy Back fight. And I'm like, what are you, one of them fucking gag character haters? Fucking. Then link to our gag character discussion video.
It's just
Go ahead.
situation to where it's just like I have a feeling that Afro Luffy was like an homage to like boxing anime like Hajime no Ippo and Ashita no Joe. So it's just like no one can knock just how epic Afro Luffy is, especially that him being able to punch what's his name's slow beam back at him and then doing a gum no boxing gatlet, bro.
There's a lot of amazing things about Afro Luffy. One of my favorite things about Afro Luffy was that like even Robin, who is like the most serious character in the Straw Hats, there was a scene where Nami was like the only one who didn't get it. Nami was like, "What? I don't understand. What's up with the afro?" And then Sanji, who always agrees with Nami, was like, "But Nami, don't disrespect the afro." And then Robin's like, "Yeah, Nami, it's a fucking afro." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like Sanji literally going to Nami like, "Nami, it's an afro." I've lost respect for you. Yeah, dude. And then of course my boy Usopp is in that moment. he plays the fucking like Doc from Punch Out on that shit.
Yeah. That is great.
Luffy. Is it the afro that makes the man? Yeah, no, that's some good shit. That was not on my top 10, but a worthy contender for sure. Would you like me to reveal my number 10, Thurman?
Yes.
Okay, my number 10 is in Sabaody Archipelago when Rayleigh just walks out in the auction house, the slave auction house, and just fucking hockeys everyone to pass out. Like, for that moment?
Oh my. That's actually really, really good.
I love that shit, my dude. Because that basically was like, yes, of course we had Shanks using it in episode 1 on the Sea King, but that was kind of our first like showing of like what a fucking truly OP badass can do in One Piece. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just the moment where like Rayleigh, who was already revealed at that point, like, yeah, this is the fucking first crewmate of Roger. And he just casually fucking breaks out of the slave place, like, all right, everyone but you and you knocking out now. Oh, sexy. And Rayleigh's an amazing character. And that entire there's a couple. Actually, I have a couple moments from Sabaody in this list because Sabaody is # probably one of the best arcs in the entire series. I don't know why I put a hashtag in front of that. Don't ask. But I enjoy that because that was back to because like there was one other hint before this moment of what hockey could do, and that was when Shanks and Whitebeard met, and you had Shanks. Sorry, David just messaged me to keep this under an hour. Yes, I will. So you had Shanks and Whitebeard meeting, and just their presences being in the same fucking area was causing their crewmates to pass out. So this was kind of just like that was the foreshadowing that Oda always loves to do. And then this moment here was just like the payoff of that. Like, here's what you can do with hockey, baby. So yeah, small little moment, but I just remember it very fondly. And I remember just the sheer amount of hype in that scene. So yeah, that's my number 10. You have I give thoughts on Afro Luffy. So what's your thoughts on that, Thurman?
I'll say that's one of the best moments of Rayleigh. So I'm interested. That's not higher for you though. That's kind of like the only soccer.
Oh, but don't you worry. Well, doesn't that make it so interesting to know what my higher moments will be? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or what's your number 9, bitch?
My number 9 has to be Zoro just tanking all of Luffy's pain.
Oh shit!
It's that shit. That was. I've always loved Zoro as a character, but that made me love him even more.
Okay, can we talk about like how fucking crazy like that was actually a crazy coincidence right there? Because I'm gonna send you a picture of my list. Not even shitting you. That's my number 9 too. I have it listed as I have it listed as Kuma shows up at the end of Thriller Bark. So slightly different, but still same thing, right?
Wait. Bro moment.
We had another bro moment. We need to get like a fucking edit where like bro moment, it's like confetti and like two dudes like fist bumping.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
exactly
getting to draw a bro moment between you and me. I need to get her to draw you and me in like that in the SpongeBob scene where they're reaching out. But it's you and me. So that's perfect. Great. We can actually talk about that together. So yeah. Not only the Zoro moment, because that was one of the most defining moments of Zoro's character, absolutely. But also just Kuma showing up in general. Like first of all, you have the moment in Thriller Bark where it foreshadows Kuma, where basically he gets there, Perona's trying to leave on a boat, and then Kuma just goes and does the whole, if you could travel anywhere on a vacation, where would you go? And Perona's like, what are you talking about? I guess somewhere spooky, because that's my aesthetic, but and he's like, all right, like, and you know, we're like, what the guy's power? And then all of a sudden, my favorite part though about that entire thing is the fact that like you have an arc that has just ended. Luffy just beat the main villain, and they're in that like, because you know how after every arc there's like the after arc party, like that's kind of like what they do in One Piece, the after arc party.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're doing the after arc party, everything's chill, and then Kuma's just like, yo, I'm here. And Urus is this shock, bitch. Like literally, like island level. It didn't for the island, of course, but it like was the withstand. Like the explosion was big as the island, and it just, God, it was sexy. That attack, everything. Zoro and Sanji arguing over like, no, I'm gonna take my life. No, take my life, and that entire exchange was fucking beautiful. It showed how loyal the Straw Hats were to Luffy. It showed how badass Kuma was. It was just fucking. It was brilliant. What's your thoughts on it?
My favorite, my biggest thing was because thinking being a One Piece fan then and now, and people always say like, oh no, Zoro and Luffy are just like a partnership type deal. Nah, bro, you fucking partners don't fucking hop into their pain and leave you half dead. That was a best friend moment for Zoro, right? That was a best friend moment. I to this day I would still use that. You think Usopp and Luffy are best friends? Nah, bitch. Zoro and Luffy, day one. Zoro was the first one that Luffy got on his crew, and then they're bonded more. Bam, like that. You don't
more than Usopp, Luffy. No, they're definitely not. And what I will say in response to that is the point that you admitted on a different video was a good point. Zoro said he would leave the crew if Luffy like embarrassed himself as his captain. So that is not
because he's trying to get
a friend like Zoro, or excuse me, a friend like Usopp is the one that wants to be on the crew no matter what. And after he made that mistake, he wanted to come back to the crew, and Luffy was crying thinking about the fact that Zoro or Usopp might not come back to the crew. So fuck that shit. Usopp, better friend.
Nah, bro, check this out. Wouldn't you want to? First time for your best friends, you have to make different decisions, right? You have to sacrifice. It'll be like David, if David said, hey, Red, if we don't stop fucking around, I'm going to leave, right? You're gonna leave him to yourself. He's gonna make you grow up, make you change. Nothing, bro. That's what it is. Perfect analogy. All right, check this out.
Right.
And it hurts me because the fact that
But
Zoro.
you don't see the fact that like every
Zoro-
time they're hanging out, it's Chopper, Usopp, Luffy. That's the trio that's always hanging out.
So
Go to any arc. Those are always the ones that are like hanging out, laughing, having fun together.
that's because Zoro and Luffy have
Zoro's just asleep or drunk up in the fucking crow's nest. That's all he ever does.
Why are you hating on the Luffy cross Zoro friendship, yo?
Because it's not a friendship. It's a professional relationship.
Nah, fam. That's a friendship, B. That is a friendship. It makes it even more heartening when Luffy and Zoro have their fight because of growing up. It's literally like David is Luffy and Red is Zoro right now.
How?
And I'm Usopp.
Wait. Wouldn't I be Zoro? I'm the one that's always drunk.
Yeah, I feel like David's definitely more Zoro. And
I mean,
also, let's not forget, Zoro is not only a drunk. Zoro is like one of the pronounced atheists in this series too.
So essentially,
there was that part in Sky Island where he was like, every time like Anaru called himself a god, Zoro was like, God. Zoro was like, God damn. But yeah, no, Zoro. It was one of the best moments of Zoro. This moment here and Zoro's "Is that all right? King of the Pirates." Those are the two best Zoro moments in the entire series for sure.
oh yeah, all right.
All right, who wants to do their number 8?
Go ahead.
My number 8 is Dr. Hirolick's death from Chopper's flash. Now, this is the guy, because I know you have bad memory, Thurman. This is the guy that basically, not the woman that taught Chopper to be a doctor, but this is the guy that saved Chopper when, basically all the humans were hating on him. Because essentially Chopper, when he turned into what he turned into, none of the humans would accept him because he looked like the fucking abominable snowman. None of his family would accept him because he was a freak now. Hashtag remember Chopper can never have a sex life. And so the only person that accepted him was Dr. Hirolick, and they had a lot. They essentially became the best of friends. They both wanted to do good. Even though he was a shitty doctor, he wanted to help people. He was sucked at it, but he wanted to help people. He was pure of heart, and he wanted to help people. And there was a moment where Wapol, the villain of that arc, essentially, Wapol had this Wapol's a fucking pure asshole, and his thing was like, I'm going to monopolize all of the doctors in the entire island. Every single doctor I'm gonna have live in my castle. So if anyone wants, healthcare or to be treated, they have to pay me personally to get that treatment, right? So he stole all the doctors, and then but he got all of them except for Dr. Hirolick. And when he was like, oh, I need Dr. Hirolick up here, even though he's a shitty doctor, that's how, Wapol was like, doesn't matter. Anyone that calls himself a doctor, I need, right? So to trick him to going up there, he did this whole like, oh, the 20 MDs are sick, which was like all of the doctors in the island fell sick at once. And then they're an isolated island. So it's like, oh, fuck, the 20 MDs are sick. There's no doctors on the entire island. So Dr. Hirolick, because he's so pure of heart, even though he was like 99% sure it was a trap, he still went up there because he was like, I have to try to help them, because if all of our doctors are sick, that's a national crisis. So he goes up there, and keep in mind, this is after Chopper tries to, because he has that illness of like how he talked about how he was cured by looking at cherry blossoms and shit, even obviously not the case, unless it turns out to be the case. But so in order to just make Chopper feel better, he told Chopper that there was like the cure-all mushroom. Chopper brought him a mushroom, and he ate it, but it was a poisonous mushroom. So he was going to die within like the next 24 hours anyway. So he goes up there to try to basically, just in case he can help the 20 MDs. Wapol's like, it was a trick, whatever. Why'd you come up here, right? And he's just like, and instead of, this is the moment that I start to find beautiful. And you can go back and rewatch this moment, Thurman. I cry every time I watch this. Where like, instead of being pissed off that it's a trap, instead of being like, oh, you tricked me, you fucking asshole, he starts crying in relief. He's like, oh, thank God. I thought we had a national crisis on our hands. And they're like, what? We're going to kill you, and you're not even mad. And then he goes to Wapol, and he's like, don't even bother with your bullet. I'm not worth your bullet. I'm going, and he essentially sits down and he starts taking a drink of sake, and then Dalton's up there and he's talking to him and he's like, and this is because the country at this point is super fucked up. It's, because Wapple's a horrible dictator, and he starts talking about how, like, when do you think a man dies? It's not when they actually physically die. It's not when a bullet passes their chest. It's not when they die from poison. It's not even when they die from old age. A man dies when he is forgotten. And I don't think I'm ever going to be forgotten. So I'm not worried about dying. And then Dalton, who is very sad about the country and the state of the country, he's like, do you think that could be true for a country as well? And he's just like, yeah, if the will of the people are in the right way. And then as they're having this conversation, basically, he had a bomb on himself and he just blows himself up because he didn't want Chopper to feel responsible for killing him. Chopper had accidentally poisoned him. So he was like, don't worry, Chopper. Your mushroom soup won't kill me. And then right before he dies, he lifts his sake cup up and says, I regret nothing. I have lived a wonderful life. And even the delivery, he's like, I've lived a wonderful life. Thank you, Chopper. And then he drinks his sake and he blows up and dies. And just to me, it's beautiful because the pure, like, lack of any regret, lack of fear in that death, because his whole life he had felt like a failure. No one liked him. And when he found Chopper, he had this sense of worth, this sense of almost parental duty, and he helped Chopper and he made Chopper happy. And he wasn't scared to die, and because of that, he wouldn't be forgotten. Finally, he wouldn't be forgotten. And it's just a moment that consistently makes me cry and is beautiful to me. So yeah, that is my spiel on that.
Wow. That was deep.
Thank you. So yeah, I know it's been a while, and the reason I had to do so much exposition on that one is because I don't remember that arc. It can be hard to remember all the circumstances leading up to it. But yeah, it's that scene is very, very powerful, and you know how occasionally they have a scene that's like so powerful they play like a song that they only play like once in the entire series. Like a song specifically, like there's a song that they play for that moment that's never been played in the ever.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's fucking powerful, man, and I just love it. So yeah, I'm sorry for how long that spiel was, but I love that moment. So do you have any thoughts on that?
No, man, you did it perfectly.
What's your number 8?
When Sniper King shoots down that damn Marine flag.
How, bro? The bro moments. My number 7. I'm gonna send the goddamn picture so you don't think I'm fucking lying. Hold on. All right, David boy, if you need to mute so you can watch E3, you can, but chill, my dude. So yeah, also that GIF with all the boobs. Thanks for giving me a boner, David. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That is a good GIF. That's a very good GIF.
High School DxD, as shitty as the new animation is, it's great for boobs.
Damn. But yeah, you see that shit?
My fucking god, you guys. I think you are hashtag best couple.
Bro. Thurman, if you want a relationship, get a sex change. Get over here.
I refuse to edit that out. That is perfect.
That would be tempting. That would be tempting if I didn't like my penis, but I love my penis, so.
I mean, Red.
Red, I'm not getting a sex change.
You've all admitted that you are more feminine than masculine, so I mean, to be more.
Nah, fam. Oh god, I don't like surgery in general. But yes. So yeah, that legitimately is my number 7. So we can talk about that at the same time. Yeah, the I want to live, burn that flag down. Absolutely. That moment is fucking phenomenal. So Thurman, how about you start off talking about this one?
It's so symbolic, right? And it's just like how, and you have to think about it, it's a very big moment for Usopp too, because Usopp is essentially
my boy, my favorite character.
Like Usopp is the one that's actually burning down the flag, right? So essentially, it just feels so great that Luffy would essentially start war just for one person.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best things about Luffy is like he's one of those heroes that is really nice to think about. Someone who doesn't fear repercussions. Someone who doesn't, even though you have basically spawned him. He went on that entire spiel about like, you don't understand the world. You can't make enemies of the world government. It's like over 100 countries and this, that, and the other thing. All of, because you got to understand, it's not just the Marine, or Thurman. I don't know if you know this. It's not just the Marines. The world government itself has like hundreds of countries under their rule. So that's like saying like the entire army of Alabasta, the entire army of this country, the entire army of that country, every country that's under the world government. Technically, the world government could mobilize all of those armies just to take out the Straw Hats if they wanted to.
Yeah. And it's just like Luffy's like, I don't give a fuck. You fuck my friends, so you fuck with me. Like that is so, I love character. Like that's one reason why I love Luffy so much is that his I don't give a fuck mentality and who gives a fuck about repercussions thing. It's just I love characters like that because it makes me be what I want to be. I don't want to give a fuck about anything. I don't want to give a fuck about what people think about me or what people say about me.
Totally.
I'm just gonna.
Sorry,
and Luffy is a perfect example of that type of character. He doesn't give a fuck what people think about him. So, besides his friend.
Agreed. And this moment too, for me, there's three things that make it amazing. It's the I don't give a fuck attitude from Luffy. It's I love the character from Usopp here, right? Because essentially, I don't know if you ever got the you want to talk about deep metaphorical symbolic shit. I don't know if you ever got the whole symbolism that mask of his, it's essentially like it helps him hide his like the cowardice. It helps him mask his cowardice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by that is like with that mask, even though he's the same person, that mask allows him to do things that he would never do if it was just him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because essentially, what that mask shows to me is that Usopp has that bravery within him, and he always has. He has that brave side, but he needs an alternate persona to bring it out because he looks down on himself, and he has this idea of himself that is a coward, and all he needs to do to change that is to change how he thinks about himself. So to me, that whole moment. And how he does that, he's so cool about it. He doesn't say like, "Oh my god, are you sure, Luffy?" He's like, "Absolutely, Cap," or "Absolutely, Luffy," or however he says it. He's just like, "Yup, got it, boom." You know what I mean? Like that is Usopp. That is Usopp under there. But all he had to do was put on a different persona, and he is the brave warrior he wants to be. That's a glimpse into the future of what Usopp can and will be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that. And that was Usopp, man. That was fucking Usopp that burned that flag. That's on his record.
Soji King.
What?
The motherfucking Soji King.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the third part of that moment is Robin. Robin's "I want to live." And to me, that shit's beautiful because essentially, like, Robin, her whole life had been like, basically, people had beat her down mentally. Like, you are nothing but a burden. You're a burden to everyone you come across, and you are a waste of breath. You're a waste of space. You're a waste of human flesh. You being alive is a burden to other people. That is what people had made her believe for her whole life. So what Luffy came across and said was, no, it is okay for you to want to live. Because her whole time, like, I don't want to live. She said this so many times when they were chasing her. No, I don't want to live. Just stop chasing me. I'm ready to die. I just want to die. And Luffy, before he saved her, he was like, I'm not saving you until I hear you say you want to live. Because it is okay for you to want that. That shit was awesome. And all those things happened in the same goddamn moment. Beautiful. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that was your number 8. That was my number 7. So what's your number?
Number 7 would be the Frankie versus the one big guy's fight. I really enjoyed that fight because when Frankie was first introduced, I loved him instantly. I liked his backstory. His backstory was very simple, but it was very good. You know, because I felt bad for him. You know, like he was a shipwright who liked to make ships and everything like that. He liked to make ships, and they were weapon ships. But somebody essentially took his creation and then essentially killed the one who raised him with him. You know, like caused this whole chain of reactions, and then he had to have a wake up call. It's like, no matter whether you want them to or not, they can be used to kill people, and it's just like, you know. And as a creator, you know, you don't think about like that type of stuff, right? You don't think about, you know, something I create could hurt people. You think about, oh, this could be better for people, this could help people, or
that's the same thing that happened with Einstein. Do you know how Einstein, when he discovered the nuclear energy, like he wanted to use it as energy, not as a fucking weapon, you know?
Yeah. So with that fight, I liked it was different. Frankie's fight before the time skip were different in the sense of it was just like kind of like hand to hand type deal, and that one was very like hand to hand deal, and I liked how he was able to finish him off with the air cannon. I thought that was a great little finish there. So mine's fairly short, but I really liked that part.
No, yeah, I agree. That's a good fight. I think all of the CP9 fights were fucking great. All right. I hope to see more stuff like that from Frankie in the future. Now, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So my number 6 is the moment where they first meet Blackbeard in Jaya. Do you remember this moment, Thurman?
It was one where Luffy and Zoro were getting their ass kicked in the bar, right?
Yep. Okay, so this already is so huge because you know how important Blackbeard as a character is going to be. You know what I mean? So, like, this is the first appearance of Blackbeard as a character. And what you have here is just, like... So, one of the reasons why I'm so fucking excited for Blackbeard is that Luffy and Blackbeard have a moment here. They have a moment where they actually really agree on something. And Blackbeard is the good guy. When they come out of that bar after getting their asses kicked, and just to give you... just so you remember what happened there, they let themselves their asses kicked. You know what I mean? They could have won that easily. Because remember, Luffy like one shots their fucking leader like shortly after this, if you remember correctly. You know what I mean? So they pulled a Shanks and they let themselves get beaten. And as Nami is pulling them out of the bar, and she's feeling very embarrassed by it, or like, what the fuck, guys? Why didn't you fight back? Blackbeard chimes up from across the street and says, "What's with the long face, Missy? Your friends won that fight." And then they have a talk about like how, because I don't know if you remember, people were cronies of Doflamingo, and they were doing the whole like, the era where pirates dream, that's gonna come to an end. That's stupid. Well, you don't believe in Sky Island, all that shit, right? So Blackbeard from across the street, he's basically saying like the era where pirates dream is gonna come to an end. That's fucking ridiculous. Pirates will always dream. And he's just like, you and your friends are absolutely on the right side of history here, and I hope that you find Sky Island, and I'm sure that you will. And he just had such a cool moment with them where he was really supportive, and it shows that like, even though like not all villains in this world are the type of villains that you're gonna disagree with. Not all villains are like your Doflamingos or your crocodiles or your Akainus. You know what I mean? You have a villain here who's very similar to Luffy. A lot of people see Blackbeard as like like a dark Luffy. Like him and Luffy are gonna have a lot of the same morals, a lot of the same ideas about the world. A lot of even the same, like Blackbeard wants to be Pirate King, and I assume it's for the same reason as Luffy, to be the freest man in the world. But they have different motivations and how to go about it. And I guess every time I see this scene, I just look and say how supportive he was of them, how he actually thought that like the fact that they just sat there and took it and didn't fight back, he took that as a good thing. He has one of those, because most people that have one of those like, oh, be the bigger man, don't fight back. Most people like that are good people. So this scene gets me really fucking hyped for Blackbeard, because I think he's going to be one of those like Corollo or Meruem type villains where like he's a villain, but he's really complex and he's like got a lot of good sides to him. You know what I mean, Thurman?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that's why I love this scene, because I think it's like really interesting setup for like what Blackbeard is going to be. And from this scene, I really think that Blackbeard is going to be the type of character who's, I mean, not only the fact that like he's obviously going to be one of the final villains of the series, if not the final villain, he's also, I think he's going to be one of those villains that's actually got quite good reasons for doing what he's doing. I think he's going to have amazing motivation. I think he's going to have a really complex side to him, and I think he's going to actually have some good points where he might even be more right than Luffy. I'm getting straight up like Meruem Kurola vibes in the sense of like a villain who isn't just bad but has like good motives for what he's doing, and I'm excited to see what those are because he was irrational and very, very nice to them in Jaya. So yeah.
I think that's a good moment there. I like that.
Thank you. So what is your number 6, my good sir?
When Nami asked Luffy to help her.
God damn it. It's not my number 6. It's on the list, but well, okay, so it's the part where she says help, not the stabby army part.
Well, I like that stabby army part too, but I would say from the point.
Okay, fuck it, fine. I have to. There's no reason to hold it back. So okay, that is actually, believe it or not, that is my number 1 moment.
Really?
Yes.
All right, so
So you talk about it first, and I'm going to tell you why it's my favorite moment in One Piece.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you the cringy moment to why I like it, and then I'm going to tell you an actual like heartfelt.
Luffy, and that is not at all why I like it.
Well, yeah, that, but it's the reason why I like that scene so much is because it feels like Nami had to put on, because you have to remember that Nami was with them before that, and then I believe she left the crew, then she came back, right? So
no, she was always with them because she was out there getting money for them constantly.
So
she never left.
My thing is, Nami and Robin is most the same thing with the Nami and Robin situation, right? Except Robin's situation was way worse. It feels like she had to put on like a facade. Like she had to try to convince herself that she didn't like being with them. Kind of how Knob Robin was. She had to essentially because her main goal was to protect her island. That was like Nami's main reason as to why.
It was to buy it back from.
Well, yeah, but it's still the same thing, protected regardless. So you can tell like the emotional breakdown she has when she tries to prevent like the people from literally charging into their deaths because Arlong could solo them, and then they're like, no, we're tired of being abused, we're tired of essentially standing around like how you don't like people, we're tired of letting the status quo be the status quo essentially, and so even if we die, we'll actually fight for our freedom and fight for your happiness. And then she realizes that, oh fuck, these people aren't kidding, they're serious, they're tired of being abused, they're tired of being manipulated, so they're going to fight. And then how she cuts herself because she has Arlong's like tattoo on her is just very heartfelt, because you can know that she's trying to find someone to blame, and the cutting of her arm thing is symbolism in a way, right?
It's the rage. It's what it is it's the rage she feels like, because I don't know if you've had this, but I have had this a lot, and it may have been because I grew up with like a lot of mental disorders that I didn't know what they were for a while until I went to therapy. But like I used to do this thing where when I was angry, like really angry, I would start hitting myself a lot, like fucking.
Oh yeah,
you know
I do that.
That's what I see Nami doing here. She was just so distraught with anger, and she sees this fucking tattoo, this symbol of the man that did all of this to her, the man that killed her mother, the man that took everything away from her, the man that took years of her life away because she spent that time getting money for this man, and then he lied and said, lol JK, just taking the money, not gonna actually eat this promise. And this symbol of this goddamn man is on her body. It's like a fucking scar on her, and she just wants to cut it off. And it's just visceral anger, pure fucking anger and demise, and it's fucking beautiful. And one of the reasons, it's my number one moment, and the reason it's my number one moment, despite not liking Nami that much, is because this is the moment that got me into One Piece. I attempted to get into One Piece 5 separate times because it's no secret that One Piece has a very shitty beginning. So I remember I watched just the first episode maybe like 3 separate times, and then I got up to like Sanji's arc a couple times, and then I finally got to the Arlong arc. Her flashback mixed with this moment here. This is always the moment that I remember as the moment where I was like, this is a fucking well-written show. This moment here. And this is what made me continue watching forever. And it's because, as I said, that visceral anger, that pure visceral anger that connected with me so well, because I used to do that shit as a kid. Hit myself out of pure anger. I remember actually like severely bruising myself because I hit myself in the head with a fucking frozen water bottle. Don't ask why. I had one in my head and I pissed at myself and I forgot it was frozen. Yes, stupid red is stupid. We're talking middle school right here. Either way, this is a lot more visceral, and it's that mixed with the fact that this is one of the first times where Nami was someone who was so broken that she didn't trust anyone. In fact, I believe at some point she says that to Arlong, like, I've gone through life not trusting anyone for that very reason. In my line of work, I have to steal from everyone. I can't trust anyone. So she's lived her life like that. And finally, she's been broken to the point of there's no more breaking that this woman can go through. She's been so broken. She's crying in a fucking heap on the ground, bleeding because she just stabbed herself. Everyone she knows is going to die. And she looks back to Luffy, the man who she has been trying to ignore and push away and just use. She wanted to just use them. She finally looks back to him. There's no other option, no other options to go to. She's like, help me. And that moment where Nami gives up her pride because there's nothing else to do, and Luffy subsequently takes the hat that we know is the most important thing in the world to him, puts it on her head as like a sign of like, I'm gonna fucking do it. And that too, people try. Luffy is stupid. There's no doubt that he's stupid, but there are moments where he's not that stupid. By putting the hat on Nami, that is a perfect way to wordlessly, without any words, basically say, I trust you and you can trust me by putting this hat on your head here. And it's just fucking phenomenal. I love
it. That's not much more I could say. You nailed it, man.
Yep. Holy shit. Yeah. Good stuff. So that was your number 6 and that was my number 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so number 5. What you got?
Wait, did you do your number? Oh, yeah, you did your number 6.
That was my number 1.
But did you do your number 6?
My number 6. Hold on. 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, my number 6 was the Blackbeard Pirates. Dreams will never die.
Okay, then you can go ahead and do number 5.
Okay, my number 5 is the entire fight of Luffy versus Usopp.
That's actually really good.
That fight is what skyrocketed Usopp from a character I hardly even cared about to my top 10 at the time. Now he's my favorite character. But that literally took him from, because that fight was like a religious experience. It was like an awakening. And what I mean by that is some people will have that awakening during that fight, some people won't. And what I mean by that is almost everyone, when they start watching One Piece, they're the fucking DBZ tards, the Narutards, I want strong, badass edgelord characters and I want them now. You know what I mean? So you start off the series with your fucking favorites being Sanji or, like fucking Sanji or Zoro, and Sanji's not an edgelord, but he's still like the strong, badass. Yeah, right. And most people that I talk to, especially before Water 7, do not like Usopp. They find him annoying. And I didn't find him annoying. I never found him annoying, but I remember just kind of like, I was about him, right? This Usopp versus Luffy fight is one of the best examples of the fact that Oda is a goddamn amazing writer. Okay, this would be like if in DBZ, Krillin was like, yo, Goku, I'm going to fight you, and then actually did good. Like, think about that shit. You'd never see that shit in another shonen, right? Think about it. Like, what this does is, and this was one of my first, because remember, I watched basic bitch stupid anime up until now. So this was one of my first experiences of strategy. This was one of my first experiences of, power levels isn't everything. You can use your goddamn brain, and someone way weaker than someone can actually come out on top if they use strategy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I knew that regardless, though.
Okay, but like, well, I started off with stupid fucking anime, okay? I do want your thoughts on this, Thurman. You can interject at any point.
The reason, because I've always Usopp, and honestly, I was really impressed with how he fought, because I like Usopp's fighting style. I like strategic fights like that. I mean, it was blatantly obvious that Usopp wasn't going to win, but
Oda did amazingly at like making it seem like he was gonna, though.
It's just the fact that he put in effort. I like the effort that Usopp put in, because he gave Luffy a run for his money. Now, if Luffy was actually serious, actually, he didn't have to gear second at this time, so I guess you could argue he was serious.
I think he was. I think for in the beginning he wasn't, but I think near the end he in order to give him respect, he was.
Yeah. So it was a very heartfelt fight between friends. It was like a goodbye situation, right?
Mm-hmm. And I guess what I will say, here's my favorite line from the entire fight, right? Because this line is a line that I've always talked about, a line that I'm considering making an entire video just about this goddamn line. And it's the line where, because to me, it's a line that was not written to Luffy, but it was a line that was written to the audience. It was like Oda basically telling people to stop hating on Usopp, right? That's how it feels to me. So there's a line in this fight where Usopp's doing the shit where he's throwing rotten eggs. He's like doing his like weird like rubber band of doom, all that shit, right? And Luffy says, "Stop fucking joking around. I thought we were having a fight." And Usopp responds, "I'm not joking around. This is how I fight." That was like my mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, that is how he fights. Like, he's not just fucking around. And it works. Like, flash forward to the Perona fight. You remember when he fights Perona? He defeats that bitch with like fake bugs. Fake bugs and fake giant hammers. Think about that. Like, so really, he's right. That is how he fights. And it works. Deception is a totally legitimate way to fight. You know what I mean? Thurman, hello?
Yeah, I heard you. I was getting ready to say something. Sorry, I got a text from my sister. It's one of those situations to where and the thing is too about that fight is the reason why I like that fight so much is because of the fact it's like two friends. Like I said, this like two friends essentially don't like. It's one of those things where true men know how to fight, don't know how to speak words. They fight with their fists. They talk with their fists, right? Like your fist king is cliche. I love that. It's very manly. It's very gay, but it's great. And that's what Luffy and Usopp.
Very gay. That's funny.
I love shit like that in stories because I mean, sometimes you in order to get your feelings across, in order to get your point across, in order for you guys to feel each other, you got to put them deuce. You got to run that fade.
Sure. I guess my thoughts though, like my final thoughts on that is I just love the fact that like essentially that entire fight is like hey, if you be sleeping on Usopp, you shouldn't be sleeping on Usopp. You know what I mean? And I love that. And again, I love the passion in Usopp because he's been put down his whole life. He's called himself a part of the weak trio. Like he had that like heart to heart with Nami about like you and I are weak. We cannot fight without gadgets. And that moment where Luffy, even his friend Luffy, called what he did jokes and and messing around and pranks. And he's like, why are you joking when we're supposed to be fighting? And Usopp is like, no, this is how I fight. You don't get it. This is how I've always fought. And it worked. He took down one of Arlong's men like that. Like, it works. And I love it. I love the realization that it works. So, yeah. So, that was my number 5. Have you done your number 5, Thurman?
My number 5 is Luffy punching Charlos.
Oh, shit. That's my number 2.
It's just so satisfying to see. My number 5 is essentially just it's stupid reason why I like it, but I just don't care. There's just certain characters in fiction, certain characters in real life. If I had the ability to defend myself and fight, just punching them and knocking them out is one of the best things ever. And when that fight happens, that was the equivalent to like I literally rewinded that shit like 3 times after I saw it, because that was like the equivalent of The Rock doing the rock bottom and winning the WWE Championship for all the WWE fans out there.
Or my personal dream, The Rock running for president, winning, and then during the inauguration giving Trump the rock bottom.
It's
David
it's just
and I
like
this.
It's just so. It's so satisfying seeing. It's so satisfying seeing a prick get his ass kicked. You know, seeing a fucking annoying, bitchy ass motherfucker and Luffy just fucking knocking him out, and the whole build up to it too. Everyone's just like, no, he's not gonna do it, is he? Oh yes, motherfucker. Luffy's about to knock this nigga out like Debo right now. All right.
So going back to what you're saying. So number 1 is so one is I love the fucking timing of this, because as we record this video, the most recent chapter, Charlos got knocked out again. Did you enjoy that one as well?
Oh my god, yeah. Seeing Charlos get his face beat in, it's just always sore.
But yeah, so here's why. So that's my number. As I said, that's my number 2. So let me defend my number 2 here. So for me, that moment is great because it's another one of those burn down that flag moments where Luffy understands the consequences, but he just doesn't give a damn. You know what I mean? He understands that this is essentially a man who is viewed by the government as a god. It is an affront to God. It is sacrilege to hit this man, and he's like, I don't care. You need to be hit. Luffy is one of those characters that Luffy is the kind of person that we need more of in this world. Someone who's like, oh, I'm sorry, you have it's like one of those like, oh, you'll never get. I don't remember what the movie is, but I watched a movie recently where it was like this rich guy, and because he's rich, he's not scared at all to go to prison because he can just pay his bail, or he can pay a good lawyer. It's like, whatever, that means nothing to me. I'll be out of jail in like a week or whatever, right? And then like the cop takes him out back, fucking shoots him, like boom, justice served, bitch, because you will never learn from the other way. Now, I'm not advocating for that, but what I'm saying is Luffy's the kind of person who's like, yo, I know that you're never going to learn any other way. You need to be fucking hit. People that won't learn from need to be fucking learned. They need to do shit until they learn. And Luffy's one of those types of people who just doesn't give a fuck. And I love it.
Yep, and I fucking love it.
So yeah, and of course the whole there's also the emotion of like Kami, the whole Kami stuff. He had just shot Hachi. It's great. So yeah, what was that? Your number 5?
Yeah.
All right. What is your number 4 then? Or do you want me? Well, I guess that should be me. Never mind. Hold on. Wait. So hold on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Wait, I gotta count this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay. My number 4. My number 4 is Dara Shishi. And you know exactly what I mean by that. Okay, so my number 4, the moment encapsulates basically the entire moment where her the buildup of her relationship to Saul, Jaguar D. Saul, the giant, Robin in Robin's flashback. The buildup of that relationship, him being killed by Aokiji, frozen over, as he's telling him, when you're sad, just keep laughing, Dara, she. And then Robin sitting on that raft, sailing away, crying while forcing herself to laugh. That shit. Oh my god. Thoughts, Thurman?
Yeah. Well, that was because I know afterwards. Well, I forgot what you said his name, didn't you? What was his name?
Jaguar D Sol.
No, the other one, the one who froze him.
Aokiji.
Yeah, Aokiji. Aokiji was the one who made the boat for her. Or what? Not the boat,
because essentially it was like he works for the Marines, but he sees the fucked upness of it, right? So like he was going all along with it, and then like I actually there's a moment that I love where like he's like it has to be done, Jaguar, it has to be done, and then Jaguar and him watch as fucking Akainu blow up the I don't know if you remember he blew up the ship that had like it was supposed to be like an evacuation ship, and he blew it up, and Akainu was like can't take chances, and he just killed all the innocent civilians and children. You remember that?
Oh my! I remember that shit.
And then Jaguar D Sol looks over and he's like, "Oh yeah, Aokiji, is that the kind of shit you stand for?" And Aokiji's like, "Oh, I took it a bit far, I'll admit." Like, goddamn. But yeah, just Jaguar D Sol, Robin's flashback, and just the fact that I can literally just say Dara she and start getting fucking teary. Like, oh my. Enough said. Moving on. What's your number 4, Thurman?
My number 4 is Zoro cutting Pika.
Oh shit. Wow.
Yeah. It's as a Zoro fanboy, you should already know.
Definitely his best in the series to date.
Like it's just and one of the I showed you the videos in the chat, right? But one of my favorite moments of that is when Zoro like that entire Pika fight, everyone's just looking at, oh my god, Zoro is fucking amazing, bro. Like literally, like when he first gets thrown by I think the king.
Yeah, the king punch.
Yeah, he cuts Pika in half, right? And then everyone's just like, oh, have those long like gap faces. And then when Zoro cuts his upper body in half again, everyone's just like, oh my god. And then Usopp's just crying like, Zoro. And then the final one.
I mean, fights like that are what, to me, because I personally subscribe to the theory that Zoro and Luffy are actually equal in strength.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because and that's kind of one of the things that I like about Zoro and Luffy. Because here's the thing, right? Look at Luffy's feat when he did a King Kong gun to Doflamingo. It reminds me of his I don't remember how to pronounce it. It's like Kanken something Tata Kazai. Some fucking word is what he said.
Senkai!
I don't know, something.
Lost 3,000 Worlds, I believe.
Yeah, it was a long ass fucking title, but both of those destruction feats seem quite similar to me in scale. So, like, I want to, before the series ends, I need to see a Zoro Luffy fight. I need to see them get pissed at each other for something. You know what I mean? Like, because again, there's this theory that I've been hearing a lot that I really want to see come true, where it's like, Zoro has been. Remember, we had the moment with Zoro in Punk Hazard where he was like, "Yo, if you don't take this shit seriously, he's getting pissed at Luffy," and he got pissed at Luffy in Zou, where he was like, "You're gonna fucking go after that Sanji guy." And remember what he said in Zou? He was like, We already have Kaido on our back. You're gonna get another fucking Yonko on our back." I think Zoro's gonna start getting pissed off.
He already is.
Yeah, I want to see Zoro straight up be like, "Nah, fam. We about to fight right now, and whoever wins is the fucking captain." Prove your worth.
Oh, I love that, bro. That'd be so lit.
I want to see okay, you know what? You've been an idiot lately. I need to.
Ashura versus Gear Force.
Yeah, I need to see I want like a moment where he's like, "I need you to prove to me that you're still worthy of being my captain. Remind me why I followed you in the beginning all those years ago." You know?
Oh, that'd be fucking lit, bro.
Yeah, I want that so fucking bad.
Oh,
I want that. But yeah, so that's a good moment, and it's very good for his. So was that your number 4?
Yeah.
Okay. My number 3, and this will be my last one because I've already given my 2 and 1. So after that, it'll be the Thurman show. My number 3 is Brooks' flashback, specifically the Binks Sake part where they're singing Binks Sake and his crew is dying around him as it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
That shit. Not to this day, nothing has made me cry harder in One Piece than that. I I'm talking like other flashbacks make me like cry, like tear up a bit. That one like uncontrollably sobbing, like literally like you know, like that kind of cry, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember specifically, I was like, that's so messed up. You know, like I remember, and it was, oh my god. And to this day, I can just look up Vink Sake English dub and just listen to it, and it fucking makes me cry. Like, God. And Ian Sinclair's dub voice is fucking fantastic for Brooke. He can actually sing. It's just beautiful. And the fact that like he has to sit there and the fact, I just love that they're like, let's sing and record it on this dial. So when I meet Laboon again, Brooke's gonna go meet Laboon because he has that devil fruit where he can live. And it's like, let's sing and prove to Laboon that even in our final moments we were happy and singing, right? Because remember, Brooke still has that in his head. He has that sound dial that has that song recorded, and he's gonna play it for Laboon. Remember?
Yeah.
So like that's just fucking beautiful to me. And now that like their final song together, and then now you couple that with remembering that the reason that Brooke is so weird is because he spent 50 years alone. That fucks you up in the head. So like it's just Brooke's flashback is my favorite flashback in the entire series. So yeah, that's my number 3. And now it's the Thurman show. What's your number 3?
Number 3 is gonna be because I had a hard time. Actually, let me think. Okay, no. So number 3 is different. So number 3 is when Luffy uses Conqueror's Haki at Marineford.
I'm trying to remember when. What remind me of the context again? Because I he used it a couple times.
When they decided just to go ahead and kill Ace early.
Oh, and then the people pass out, right? The executioners.
And then passes out, and everyone's like, "Holy fuck! He actually has Conqueror's Haki!" Like, and people are saying, like, "Okay, we definitely can't let Luffy leave this island now. If he does, he's gonna be." And I just like that how everyone's just like, it's a big moment for Luffy because Luffy has no idea what the fuck is going on. His main focus is trying to get Ace, but everyone else is like, bro, Luffy is going to be an extremely important person if we let him live. So now it was more of the
now 5th Emperor.
So now we're in the case of where it's a situation where the Marines can't let Luffy live now. Not only is he the son of the world's dangerous criminal, but he also has Conqueror's Haki, and we know Conqueror's Haki is not everyone can get Conqueror's Haki, right? So now it was like a revelation that the Marines realize how dangerous Luffy is, and I like that. I like when like essentially the villains have to realize just how dangerous the protagonist is, because they were kind of underestimating him, although he wasn't actually there. But like it was more so like if we let this man grow, he's gonna be a big issue for us in the future.
For sure. And that's one of my favorite parts about this whole series is that you're foreshadowing, like that's around every corner, But yeah, good shit. So
so
this is still my number. Show, so what's your number 2?
So my number 2, I was thinking about this, so it has to be 2-part because I couldn't decide which one.
So the first one is a lesser form. The first one is when Brooke, we show it's like Brooke moments to where he cuts people, like when he cut the spider back in Thriller Bark.
Oh fuck yeah!
That was one of those badass moments Brooke ever had.
Is that your number 2 out of the whole series?
It was. It was really. I love that shit. I love the Ido type combat system that Brooke has. My number 2 is a 2-part. So it's just like we hear like Frankie and Robin are in a bind, right? Spiders and everything like that, and then we hear Brooke humming, right? And then we see him literally walk up like a fucking badass.
Yeah. No, it's badass.
It's like he's like, I already cut you, and then he sheathes his sword and he just fucking cuts in half. Oh my god, that gave me a boner, bro. I actually, after this video, I'm gonna go watch that scene right now. It was so good. I was like, oh my god, Brooke, man, this man is a fucking god. Oh my god, he was so cool. Oh,
yeah. Where is Brooke on your favorite characters? Because I would assume if he's up there that much on your moments.
He honestly, after this arc, he boosts up to my top 5.
Yeah, dude, Brooke was MVP as fuck in this arc.
Brooke was clutch this arc, and I really liked.
I loved that. Gave him more screen time. Okay, so then what's your is that number 2? So what's your number 1 moment of all time?
So my number 2 is 2-part. It's like 2 parts. The other part to number 2 was when Luffy did the Gatling gun to Rob Lucci. It's just I can't. It's like that's a very nostalgic moment for me because that's like one of my I feel like that's one of my first ever like One Piece like oh my god moments. So
I love that. This is exactly what I predicted. I love that like we were having similar shit when we were in like your lower stuff, but like all of your top 3 are fight related things. So you.
I'm sorry.
You. No,
I'm sorry, but I just can't. I fucking love that fight. It's just like, and you have to put the voice actors for English and Japanese had to have some extremely voice problems after that. It was just so epic. I just love it.
Rob Lucci, Luffy is sexy as fuck, and I can only hope and fucking pray that the anime gets their fucking shit out of their ass. I don't even know if that's not a saying, but I'm saying it, and just put all of the budget in the fight. Put it all in that, please. Like, I'm not saying because you know what they sometimes do. Like some certain moments will be well animated. Like, oh, that moment was well animated, and then back to shitty animation. Nah, it has to be consistent with the whole fight. Good.
And then my overall number 1 One Piece moment is when Gear 4th was announced.
Really?
That is one of my favorites. It's just the overall design of Gear 4th, just how it's different from like Goku getting Super Saiyan because he's pissed off because Krillin died, right? Different from Luffy, Naruto getting all 9 tails, right? Different from Ichigo donning his Bankai for the first time. Different from Meliodas getting
we get it.
It's just one of those moments to where Luffy trained for that, right? And he's gonna reveal his trump card, and it is a trump card because after Gear 4th is gone, he loses hockey. He loses hockey for a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. So, 10 minutes, yeah.
So he's just like it's time for me to unleash Gear 4th, and Doflamingo's like, wait a minute, Gear 4th, what the fuck? And then we see this man blow to his arm, blowing himself up. I saw the anime. Oh my god, we see Luffy just going there, and it gave me like a Bruce Lee kung fu vibe right there. He's just bouncing up and down with his arms like that. Oh, she's like, oh my god. And the fight sequence that happens after that is just
it's certainly exciting. I honestly, can I be 100% honest with you? When comparing both Gear 4th reveals, that one with Doflamingo and then Snake Man with Katakuri, I think I liked Snake Man a lot more.
Why?
Why? Because I've always preferred speed forms over power forms, just as a rule. I love speed forms way more than power forms, and I also I think that like you have no idea how much I love the redirection of the arm thing. That shit is fucking fire. Like my cover photo on Facebook for a while was that panel where like Luffy's arm is like boop, 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 boop. Like, I love that because he's fast as fuck, and he can also just be like, "Where's my fist? Where's my fist? There it is, bitch!" Like that's sexy. Love that. So yeah, because like honestly, Gear 4th was my least favorite form of Luffy's for a while. Gotta be honest. It's okay, but it's not like amazing. It didn't blow me away like Gear 2nd. But Gear 4th Snake Man gave me the same feel that I got when with Gear 2nd. You know what I mean? When Luffy went Gear 2nd for the first time, that like in terms of like power forms, that's one of my favorites because again, I am a sucker for speed forms. That shit was hype, and I got the same hype from Snake. So yeah, for me,
looks like we know your favorite character from DC and Marvel Universe, Quicksilver and Flash.
I mean, I've seen those fucking scenes from X-Men where he's just like fucking that shit's hype, dude. I love it. No, speed. I've always loved speed characters. Like you can even go back to like old shit I used to do for a long time ago on YouTube where I was like talking about how like one of my favorite characters in Bleach was Soy Phone because she was the stealth force and she was fast. So yeah, speed, man. I'm all about it. But I guess I'm gonna end off this video by I had a couple honorable mentions and I just want to list them off real quick. So honorable mentions for me are Zoro learning to cut steel, Ace versus Blackbeard, that entire fight, Bon Clay, Mr. 2, sacrificing himself at the end of Thriller Bark. And by the way, that would probably actually be on the list if it wasn't for the fact that
Still alive?
and he's alive. And that shit pissed me off. Katakuri stabbing himself in the recent fight, and the literal last chapter, Shirahoshi almost getting taken by Charlos. Those are my honorable mentions. And yeah.
Shall I do mine?
Yep.
All right, so I'll mention when Jinbei punched what's his name, Wasasume, was his fishman karate.
Oh yeah,
I liked that. Another honorable mention when Luffy asked Jinbei to join his crew. Another honorable.
They did their blood transfer too. That was really cool.
Another honorable mention is Whitebeard and Ace's death.
Yep, Whitebeard's death was on mine for honorable mentions too. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. Notice Whitebeard's Ace's is okay. Whitebeard's is better death always forever. Thank you.
Another audible mention is Usopp gets hockey.
Yeah, dude. I need in Wano. I need Usopp to fucking start not mastering, but like start learning that more.
And then my last one is honorable mention is when Law cut the mountain.
Oh yeah, that was sexy in the fucking that. God damn, you're right. Yeah, that was. Oh god, I'm thinking about it now. I remember when that shit happened in the manga too. Oh my god. But yeah, so David, if you're listening, I hope that you're listening. I know David's currently watching the Microsoft E3 press conference, but time to goodbye. Thank you for this video. Thank you for watching. I am tired, not tired. I'm delirious.